Hello, hello, hello. My name is Jennifer. Here we talk about everything. And today what we're going to talk about is a little bit of me, in hopes that it'll help you out just a little bit. Alright, so many of you are really invested in the storyline in my life for multiple different reasons. And we're here to provide some updates. Some of those updates, y'all know that this here is probably the hardest week of my year. September 30th and October 4th is my oldest and my youngest birthdays that I have not been able to spend with them in years. I have a really hard time with that. Anyway, throughout it gives me times to reminisce and go over this and go over that and proclaim that this and proclaim that and really try to get out of the fucking depressed state of mind. You never get to see them again, and you did the best that you could in the moments that you had, and that's what you have to go with. You see, when I got sober, they told me I'd be able to see my kids again, and I get to celebrate 8 years in January. And the only thing that they've ever done when it comes to my kids is put them up against me. And that's okay. There's a lesson in it somewhere. It's not the easiest fucking thing to go through at all, I can tell you. But it is what it is. And throughout this, the windows have been opened and the sirens have been deemed and the time has been spent to make sure that I don't fall too heavy, stir too crazy, or wander off too far in my head, wondering why things worked out the way that they did. I'm about to show you a lineup, and you can take it however you want to, but keep your opinions to yourself until the end of the video, and you hear everything first. You had to give me just a second because I didn't do this before we got on here, so it's absolutely mandatory. Let this help me right here. You hear the crumple, weepy, whipple, wappa, wappa, deepa, dappa. If you couldn't tell that I'm not always on here to provide readings. Sometimes it's a life experience. Sometimes it's a channel. It's always for a benefit, though. Even when I'm mad, and believe you me, there's plenty of reason to be mad at people. It just takes up too much energy that I don't want to spend. I'm greedy with my energy these days. I've been doing a lot of sleeping, a lot of traveling in my sleep, a lot of healing. I'm like literally sleeping with 4 stone balls in my bed. Have been for the last couple nights. I would highly recommend it if you have the time to do that. I would highly recommend it. Don't stay stuck in it though, because it'll cause problems in your health. But a good hermit mode once in a while is good for you. And I've been granted the opportunity to have that 526. And I am grateful. Because I don't know what I would have done without it. It's a time for me to be able to boss up with God, and that's it. No, I'm going to show you. Oh, who is that? My brothers. They've been coming through for me the last week. My brothers. And my sisters have been coming through for me. With while parents at strip club. I did not see that one. Thank you, Etta. Thank you. As you can see, yo-yo strollers. God damn. No. That's just one of my channels that you see. Turn this back over here. What you saw there was like not how I see it on my screen. Like where I see it, I see like there's 3 that pop up at the same time, and I have a whole screen full. And I get messages through the different videos, the different, you know, according to, it's like they're tarot readings for me. Only it's a screen of videos. And I get messages out of it. It's not, I'm not, I'm on my tablet right now recording this, and I showed you on one of my phones, and I'm usually on my tablet, and it provides a bigger screen. But even with the tablet on the phone, I wouldn't have been able to give you the same as what I have when it comes to the tablet. Like, you know, everybody's is different. But anyway, they're all different kinds of memes that have been helping me. Today has been ways of being able to lose weight, being able to get my head out of my head, and knowing that a lot of people have gone through what I'm going through right now, minus the kid part, trying to relate and make me feel better and keep striving. And I'm grateful for that. With all of the stuff that is going on right now, I've told you before, and I'll tell you again, when good things are happening, I'm going to tell you. When bad things are happening, I'm going to tell you that too. None of these guys would be even given two shits about making sure that I'm okay if it weren't for Marshall, who has made sure to show me his face on a constant, constant, to try to get me to look at him in a different way, to try and give him attention, and to let me know that he's paying attention, to let me know he's not going anywhere. He's listening to every word I'm saying. Like my YouTube, I don't get on any other social media except for YouTube anymore. I've shut everything else out. And I only deal with YouTube. I don't get on TikTok. I don't get on Instagram. I don't get on Facebook. I don't get on Instagram or Twitter. The only thing I get on is YouTube. I'm not going to change that. I might change it later on. I am going to be doing podcasting where you won't see the cards, but you'll have conversations with me. I will be doing live commercial events next year. I don't believe that's going to be happening this year. But next year I'll be doing live events. This year I have a lot more healing to do, a lot more studying to do that I want to get ready for. And in order to do that, I have to commit to staying in hermit mode. But when I have a collective of spirits that work every day to let me know what's going on in the spirit realm, in the 3D realm, and the people that are around me, making sure that I make good decisions and I don't give up on myself, I have to take a moment to say thank you. In a real thank you. One of the biggest things that I deal with right now is that, and I know I'm not the only one, this is my story, is why I had to be without my kids, and why it was so important to treat a whore better than it was a baby mama. And then to top it all off, they decide that they want to be friends with an old acquaintance of mine. But the whole story is they lied. They got paid to do things. They lied about what they did. They lied about me. And they thought they were going to get away with it. And they would have. But last year, somebody shifted their disposition. And it's been coming out of the woodworks ever since. And so this year, for the first time since I've lost my kids, I actually had a support system, making sure that I didn't hit the fan, making sure that I stayed focused on bettering myself. I didn't wallow in what I lost. I've never had that before. And it came from a man. It actually came from a man and his friends that I have not ever been in the same room with, all of them at once. I've never met any of them but one. I haven't been in the same room with him in 30 years. But he gave me more support, and I've never had his kids. He's never taken me out on a date. We went fishing when we were kids, but that don't count. And he was actually very supportive this year. And that goes really far for me, because I died giving birth to Gary's kids, and his response was to laugh at me for begging to take his family to KFC or to a restaurant. We didn't exactly beg for KFC, just, can you take us out to eat? And the only reason he took us out to eat was because the mistress that he thought was pregnant with his kid was hungry and needed to feed her kids. And since he was already paying her bills, he thought, and it was his way of introducing her to the kids and me. And I knew that she was already present. She turned out to not to be a very good person for him. And they spent 15 years together. He didn't start actually trying to act like he wanted me until Marshall started paying attention to me. And Marshall stepped back, being in his own relations that he's dealing with, let it play out. And in that, realized that this man was only trying to clout, and that nobody in Tennessee actually has but their best interest for me in their spirit when they're trying to get a hold of me. It's just a facade. But he had to see that for himself, and go through all of that he's gone through as well. I don't know what's going on in all y'all's lives, and it's really none of my business unless you make it my business. But I can tell you that even though I am going through this stuff, and sometimes I wonder, why did I get sober when I'm never going to get to see my kids again? Like, that's what they promised me. If you'll get sober and do what we tell you, then we'll make sure this, and you can have this, and we'll do this. And I didn't even get to hear my kids' voices when they got to grow up. I didn't even get to hear their voices change. And he thought it was funny. They all thought it was funny. Like, the whole town, made money making fun of me, put me through all this stuff. And for the last month, they're not looking that way. And I'm not being treated that way anymore. You can tell the shift of energy in the last month has been incredible. For future reference, I am training to be a wife, a divine wife. I don't know all the rules for that yet, but I do know that they're not like the average wife. It's not a trad wife. It's different. And my baby daddies don't get to play that part. Your baby daddies. And that's all you get. You had a chance to be divine husbands, and you chose to drink, do drugs, and fuck hoes. This man is turning away the hoes, straightening up his life, and even his daughters are making and boasting the good decisions, influencing their generation to provide a better state of mind and institution for the future, while you're trying to train my kids to keep breaking the law and damaging their spirits, making decisions that they don't want to make but are given no choice because you're holding something over their head, their mother. And if they don't do what you say, you'll hurt her. Those days are numbered. I just need you to know that. Holding me over my kid's head to force them to do stuff they don't want to do. I have a band of brothers that I didn't know I had that have on record everything you guys have said. I just need you to make things right. It's not a threat. It's not, I just need you to make things right. But even if you don't make things right, I have a crew helping me change the entire universe without having to put me in a position where I hurt anymore. You had that opportunity. You had 30 years. You had me before I had kids, before I was all bent out of shape and broken. And you had me when I was young, before my back surgery, before my back was broken 3 places, before my hand was broke, before I had false teeth, before my head started playing games with me. You had me before all that. And what you chose to do with it is the bed that you must sit in now. You can't give me the 19 years of birthdays that I've had to fight through. And I'm not willing to give you 19 more years of tears over it. I will always love my kids. You'll never take that away from me. My kids will always love me deep down inside, even if they can't show me. You'll never take that away from us. But what you will do is lose the power that you have over the decisions that I make in my future. I'm not here to live for you. I was never here to live for you. And once I had my kids, I wasn't here to live for me anymore either. I was here for my kids. You took that, you shit on it, and got mad because I'm not going to give you any more room to shit on any more areas of my life. You have to love yourselves. And you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have treated your own children the way that you did. Like, you didn't treat strangers off the street like shit. You did this to your own children. You deprived your children of everything that a child deserves. And you did it out of spite and ego, even against your own children. Your own children. Your own fucking children, dude. That doesn't even make sense. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to fathom having any time with you and feel special about it? You shit all over your kids. Like, there's nothing attractive about you. Any of you. Andy, Gary, or Sean. There's nothing attractive about you. Like, I'm more attractive having 3 baby daddies. I mean, I know there's women out there that have more than that. But I'm just saying, and I'm not trying to gloat, I'm just like, I want you guys to look in the mirror and pay attention to what you become. And please, if you're really impressed with the person that you become, let me see that. Let me hear it. Because I'm just not seeing it. Like, I know your history. I know your presence. And I know what your plans are for the future. And none of it consists of you bettering your lives or providing substance for the kids that are already grown, incapable of providing for themselves, other than what they're being given and what they've been taught from you, which is half-ass education, because you didn't even educate yourself to educate the kids. You missed out. It's not my fault. And I'm not going to hold out or hang on to a bunch of motherfuckers who treated me like shit when they had me. I'm not missing out on my future for you. My kids have already had to go through enough. And one day, I don't know what that day is, but I know that there's something you're holding over my kid's head. And whenever that is over, they'll be free of having to fuck with you anymore. And they'll be able to live a good life too. And when they do, I'm going to have that house with the extra houses on the land where they can build their lives and mom's just right down the fucking lawn. They can have all the animals that they want to. They can do whatever they want to, and they ain't got to worry about nothing as long as it's not a crime. I'm going to have that to offer my kids one day. And you're not going to stop me from that. And it's going to be either here in Michigan or somewhere else, or maybe many places. But it's not going to be in Tennessee. I love Tennessee. It's beautiful. But right now it's contaminated with a bunch of ugly people that need a lot of mental assistance and education about the drug war. I used to be willing to provide that for you. And I can do that from a distance, but I don't want to. That doesn't make me a bad person. That makes me learned my lesson. Somebody else is going to have to put there in a place that you can actually fathom what the fuck you're doing is wrong. Because there's a conflict of interest in this one. So I'm stepping down from that position. I would say that it's because I love you. But that ran out a long time ago. The longer it took for me to get to my kids. And the more I watched what you did to them in between those moments. I will never forget that. I'll never unlearn it, and I'll never unsee it. You can have all the women that you want. It's going to take a lot of women to replace me. But I'm still going to be that mystery you wish you would have treated differently. And I'm going to accept that. And I'm going to appreciate that. And I'm going to hold that, knowing that I was the person that you needed. I was that person that you wanted. I was that person that God was gifting you to have the best life you could possibly have asked for. And you chose to fuck it up. You chose to make bad decisions. And you chose to treat me like I didn't count for nothing. And in the back seat was a man taking notes on what not to be doing, how not to treat me, which way not to go. Right in front of your faces, and you didn't even know, because it felt so good to hurt me and deprive me. You weren't making room to pay attention to the fact that somebody was letting you get walked away from and get room made for them to walk in and take me from you. Politely, kindly, nicely, properly. I don't know if I'll ever be able to have sex again. So I'm okay if they go out and have sex with other people. I'm okay with the occasion of going out and doing whatever. But even when that man is going out and doing things with other people that everybody's so big about talking on, I'm there. In his ear, in the glasses, in the clothes, in the lyrics. I'm there. I'm never giving birth to his kids. I've never given him a kiss. And I pushed him away and pushed him away and pushed him away, rightfully so, because his intent was not good to begin with. And now, his daughters make decisions to be like me in a time when my own children aren't even allowed to publicly love me without getting beat for it physically. And I have to say thank you, because all I've ever wanted was to be a wife and a mom, committed to my community and a future full of love. I wasn't good enough for Crossville. Maybe I'm good enough for Detroit. We'll see. But until then, thanks for the support. I'm not used to that. I appreciate it. And thanks for making sure that I know that you're not letting me go. Because letting go is all I've ever known until then. No. Before I got on here, I watched I Love Gilmore Girls. And dude knows this. And he used Rory. You know, there's a part where she changes her boyfriends, and the one gets mad at her because she wants an education, and the other one is supportive. And that's like Crossville to Detroit. Crossville screaming at me and just fucking badgering the fuck out of me for everything I want to try to do with myself. And I come here and they're like, what do you need us to help you with? How can we help you? How can we do this? How can we do that? The reason that things have been fucked up since I've been here are multiple reasons. But the biggest one was to find out what the fuck was really going on. And you're busted, motherfuckers. And no, I don't want you. My kids love you as much as they can as your dad. But I can't even call you my friend. You took away my heart. You stomped on it, put knives in it, and racked it with a bunch of fucking wands. And demanded that I love you for it. I don't love anything about you. And when it comes to Sandy or Helen or Linda or Shelby or Debbie or Karen or Nikki, Daniel, Crystal, Dave, Ashley, Melissa, Josh, Brandy, Sean, Pensy, I don't love any of you either. And I don't care if you love me. don't think of you as a waste of my time. I think of you as a lesson of my time. Without you, I wouldn't be who I am today. But I'm taking my peaches to brighter places where my ass does get to decide my finances. And you don't get to be a part of it. Even if there is a way to fix the shit with my kids, you don't get to be a part of that. I'll never, ever let you know what's going on with me and my kids. And they don't have to tell me what's going on with you. I don't care. I care about me, and I care about my kids, and I care about the people who care about me back. But I don't care about what's going on with Tennessee. Like, I feel bad for you that you're going through what you're going through down there with all the floods and stuff. But you proved your asses right there, stealing the stuff that belongs to people that are going through the hardest time of their life. You're doing these people the same fucking way you did me. And that is opening the eyes of people in places that you've never heard of or will ever see. That I was not lying about who you fucking are. You're not a bunch of volunteers. You're a bunch of mongrels. Drug-induced mongrels out for nothing but intoxication. My kids deserve better than you. And if you ever loved them, you would let them go create lives of their own without you in it. 3700. Marshall, Trey, Snoop, 50, Wayne, goddamn, even Nikki and Taylor and Billy. As much as we've argued for the last 2 years or last week, they've all pulled together to make sure that if I even just looked at them for a minute, I wasn't crying about my kids. I loved you, Melissa. And I've been treated better by these bitches. Yeah, I called you bitches. Rihanna wore a beautiful black dress. A long 20 style dress for her man's birthday. And bragged about her cleaning up her life. This woman I still look up to, looks up to me now. Melissa, you were my friend for 30 years, and you spent that time hating me, despising me, and turning my kids against me. I'm not missing anything from you. I hope you understand.